Oh, you all thought I wasn't going to say nothing? Let's get this party started. Why is it so dark in here? Why do you have my sunglasses? Why do I have your shirt? No, you know, it was like 8 Mile, like the battle rap at the end.
Now who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Can't have any freaking fun anymore. It's not that serious, dude. Get over yourself. Jenny, also known as Dense Updates, made a video about me.
Now, I'm sure you guys all know Grant, aka Kipping It Real. We all first got to know Grant by his funny memes on Instagram.
Perfect place to end the video. If we stopped the video there, it would be a great piece of reporting, full of journalistic integrity.
Will Grant's move? What will the response be to Jenny Dense Updates?
This is going to be that response. She asks, are we the next Brian Friend?
Take me home.
Why would she do that? I don't know. Frankly, it's ridiculous. Hey, have you seen the image stabilization on these things? It's absolutely incredible. Hey, I heard Malta is great this time of year. We should go there and cover the island games. How about the World Fitness Project? We just got that email the other day telling you to apply for a media pass. I bet they'd take you. It's like the island of misfit toys. Wait a second. This is a dark path. Snap out of it. You are about to listen to the dumbest video I'm going to have to make all year. The dumbest video that I'm going to have to make ever.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We are all going to lose brain cells while we consume this commentary about the back and forth between myself and Jenny Dense Updates. And that is nobody's fault but herself and my own, and I hope that we never have to do this again. Myself and her own. Yeah, both of us. It takes two to end up in the third grade playground, arguing about who pushed Johnny off the roller slide. I'm going to cover two main areas. First, I'm going to talk about the points that Jenny made. We're going to talk about things that I think are inaccurate. Then we're going to take accountability for what is accurate. And then you, the jury of my peers, can determine what you want to believe. And then I'm likely going to be done. Sure, the thought crossed my mind of making a bunch of memes, and maybe I did make a couple memes. But I'm trying to take a little bit of a different path here, and I'm not trying to see who can publicly out-petty who. And make no mistake, I'm going to continue to make content on YouTube and on Instagram, regardless of anything that is or is not said about me. Now, apparently somewhere around Sunday or Monday, about a week ago, Jenny got some information.
Got this rat.
She says that she's been getting it for months.
This annoying, eating rat.
Which was screenshots from a well-known group chat that I am in. A secretive group chat. I guess that's kind of a contradiction. Well-known, but secretive. Maybe those sorts of things are the reason that we got leaked. You know the memes that you're scrolling and it's like the meme, like if the group chat ever got leaked and everybody's being taken away in handcuffs? That was this times 10. This group chat is not even real life. It is a caricature of real life. And we can make arguments about whether or not that's healthy at all. But the fact is that right when you walk in the door of this chat, it is immediately hyperbole. That's neither here nor there. First thing that happened is Jenny seemed to mount some sort of cryptic posts/threats on her stories and started asking people, should I leak the chat? Should I leak the chat? She was in the podcast chats, and then she started being aggressive towards me, calling me lesser Hiller or something like that. I'll pull the exact words up. Now, one of the things that I want to do is simply use logic to see if Jenny has built a reliable case or not against me. To which I mentioned, well, that's not what you said to me on Saturday 2 or 3 days ago. Here is a screenshot of the message that Jenny sent me on Saturday, unprompted.
Please, no! 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 No!
No screenshots! Drama. And then you could see that in the chat, she says that a lot can change in a few days, but that's not true about whether content is good or bad. The only thing that can change in a few days are emotions and feelings, which then affect our judgments. And the consistent theme between the chats, our FaceTime that we had, the video that she made and private phone calls that I heard about, the best that I can tell from my estimation, the consistent theme that was brought up is that some people were mean to her behind her back, myself included.
Shut up!
The only new information that she got between sending that text message unprompted and any other nice messages before it when we were on friendly terms is her finding out that I was mean to her. From what I can tell, everything else that was brought up in the video was already known before the Saturday that she sent that text. We've got text messages that I sent to her privately. We've got stuff that happened at the CrossFit Games. We've got stuff that happened during the CrossFit Open. We've got patterns of behavior that she has been observing for a long time. And yet she was still friendly with me and she still sent that text. Jenny did not assess this information or these red flags, as she calls them, and decide that she needed to make a video until she found out that I was mean to her. Does not appear to be a noble crusade to protect the CrossFit world.
I'm just out here calling out that I see, fake people, lying, conniving people who are doing dirty, shady shit. That's it. Okay?
It is simply getting revenge.
Don't invite Gretchen. She's driving me nuts.
And one of the things that keeps coming up as people mention the situation is that Grant tried to cancel Jenny, or Grant had a plan to take over Jenny and replace her.
I've been getting messages for quite some time now in a chat where he was saying like he wants to take me down and create a new dance so that the chat would have control of the new dance. He believes that he possesses the power to Thanos me.
I'm absolutely unstoppable.
I am inevitable.
Somebody in a private group chat told Jenny about these things. Jenny gets mad. Jenny makes big video about Grant. Grant was trying to get Jenny canceled.
I honestly still cannot even believe that I'm talking about this. What is this, a James Bond movie? Yes, the seedy underworld of attempted coup d'etats within the niche of the niche that is the CrossFit media's personality space. This isn't a covert U.S. military operation to destabilize a foreign government. Again, logic. There might be some facts to go for logic. Okay, what do we see here? Oh, we see a name. We see that let's replace her with Standy. Well, who's Standy? Let's take a look.
Under the sea.
Oh, look, it's a girl who literally rescues and rehabilitates sea turtles for a living. I'm going to replace Jenny with a turtle rescuer.
What you just said.
Who has never made a post about CrossFit in her life, aka a clear joke. Which is more likely? Has Jenny tried to cancel or partially cancel Grant by making a video painting a narrative that makes me look poorly? Or is Grant literally trying to stage a top secret coup to replace Jenny with the turtle lady? I feel like I was smarter when I used to smoke. I did not try to cancel Jenny. It's gonna get worse. Hang in there, buddy. We're gonna have to fry a few more brain cells.
I mean, it's obvious he really worships Hiller.
So you agree? What? You think you're really pretty?
Next up is her follow-up barrage. Now, this was something that she posted as a reel from the Savon podcast when she chimed in and her comment was brought up on the screen.
What you just said.
Sitting outside their house in Albany for 20 minutes waiting for an invite inside. Who was I looking to get invited in by? The freaking mailman? Say, hey, can you let me in there? I dropped off John Young no less than 4 times at that house. The fact is that I was dropping off John Young. Look, I absolutely respect all the people that are part of the Savon Network, and they have done incredible things in the space, but it is absolutely insane to think that I would care to be invited into their house. With as much as I talk, I would have simply asked someone. Believe it or not, I did have things to do, and if you followed my YouTube or my Instagram, you know that I was doing things. And I was staying as part of a hotel block with 14 different rooms. I did not need anyone to hang out with. Wouldn't it simply make sense that I would ask John Young, hey, can I come in with you? Of course, that's exactly what I would do if I wanted to go inside, but I never did. The night in question, I was outside their house for, I think she said 20 minutes. I don't think it was that long, maybe 10, maybe 20, fine. I had dropped John Young off, and one of the people who stays at the house pulled up, and I saw that he recognized me. I opened the door, made a joke, said, oh, I'm just sitting out here. I can't 100% remember, but I am fairly certain that I said something like, just kidding, I was dropping John Young off, or something like that. There are a million different scenarios here that would make more sense than what's being presented. But what I said was what actually happened, which was that I dropped John Young off, and then after being busy all day when my daughter was getting ready for bed, I hadn't talked to my wife or daughter since probably the morning the day before I got off the highway while we were back in that neighborhood road, I took care of that and FaceTiming my family so that I wouldn't call later when my daughter was winding down or being put to bed. Now, the funny thing about phone records is they stay there, and while there are actually multiple calls, this should be the one in question, because I saw from text messages that I went to dinner or first started talking about dinner plans at 5:50 p.m. Saturday night was when I saw that person outside their house, and I didn't go to dinner on Friday or Sunday. It was Saturday night. There is an 11-minute FaceTime call, and this is, of course, entirely ridiculous, but I will defend myself with receipts and logic.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
I think I've already done enough to put some logic on this and cast what we would call in court reasonable doubt. But if I didn't, let me ask this. Why did you share this clip and cut it off before this was said?
Also, it's not true that Grant didn't get invited anywhere because I invited him. I invited him to eat food with us like several times at the games.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Interesting. I think I'll just leave it at that. So, what's next on the docket? We got doxing.
What you just said.
There have been some messages where they're doxing people.
An action or process of searching for and publishing private or identifying information about a particular individual on the internet, typically with malicious intent. Well, that's interesting. Now, Jenny did have a phone call with me. She most certainly did not bring up the doxing or the car situation about sitting outside. And I am trying to think of the best intent here, but there are certain things here that I have honestly wondered if she didn't ask about them or if she ignored the surrounding context in them so that she would have material to contribute to the narrative that she was telling. Because you don't have to scroll too far to see that the person that we're talking to gives it a little laughing emoji. Now, I'm not going to try to explain how this group chat works or anything about that. None of that really freaking matters. We know all these people from somewhere. We don't just invite random people. The whole malicious intent thing kind of goes out the window when you consider the fact that we all know each other and that everybody's laughing. I make what is a clear joke about, let's pull his medical records. Come on, people.
What you just said.
Is this happening? Is this really happening?
Surely this is just a joke. But it does make me think, do you really want to take me down or take other people down that I'm associated with?
Shut up. I didn't say anything.
But then you throw in that maybe it's a joke. Well, why even include it then? You know it's a joke from the surrounding context because you have those messages like I have those messages. But you included it anyway. Now, a second ago, I mentioned that she brought stuff up in her stories about the group before she actually released the video. And then when I talked to her, she said that she was going to leave them out of it. But she did spend a lot of time in the forums taunting people, on her stories taunting people, and afterwards drip feeding more information, including other members of the group. And it does certainly feel like she takes the information that she has and uses some of it and then withholds some of it in order to keep you in line somehow, as if it's going to keep somebody from responding like I am right now.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
That I don't like. That I think is dirty.
Fake people, lying conniving people who are doing dirty, shady
to drip feed information and say, ooh, I know some things, I know this, I've been in the chat for 3 months, and taunt people with it is to elicit a response of fear.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
So that nobody will do anything.
I'm your huckleberry.
You even mentioned on the Savan podcast, it appears, as he takes in a text message related to you and you comment, potentially some pictures. Now, I have no freaking clue what that is about. Maybe I scrolled past it. Maybe I was sick that day.
Well, this if this text is true, what someone just sent me, this shit could get really funny.
What happened? What text? Let me see.
I'll tell you when we get off. It sounds like Jenny has like their whole like I won't post nudes.
Who said that? Oh yeah, Dense.
But I would submit to you that if you have that and you're bringing that up, whether intentional or not, it's another aspect of eliciting fear to keep people from speaking up.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Who would want to say anything when you've got 3 months from the group, including nude pictures and all sorts of craziness?
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Just other smaller items that I didn't mention. You mentioned the voicemail number that I left in.
He's even shared screenshots of voicemail conversations and people's phone numbers.
I mean, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But let me just tell you something about Aaron.
You and I both know who that is, and we both know that you know him way better than me and before me, and you already have that number. Did you ever think that maybe I wasn't concerned with blocking out the number because I knew that you had it already? Maybe that didn't fit the narrative either. Now, this is kind of a small one, but it's interesting. I don't know why you do some of these things.
Well, I first met Grant at TFX this year. He asked for my number. He said he was leaving for some reason, but that if anything interesting happened, to text him.
I don't know if you do this on purpose or not, but I didn't ask for your number. And you left that out of the Instagram posts.
Reels that he's made that he was going to post.
Obviously, I was going to go back and look. I gave you my number, and then you texted me. Here's my number too. You don't say here's my number too to somebody who asked for your number. They already have your number because they asked for it. That might seem small, but Jenny, when you're doing a character assassination, you really want to make sure to get the details right.
The crazy thing is that it should be Karen, but people forget about her because she's such a slut.
It's never a good hit piece unless the details are right. Now, regarding our FaceTime conversation, don't worry, everybody, we'll get to the open score, but...
Now, Grant and I have spoken, and he admitted to everything. He said it wasn't malicious, but then he also said there's always truth in everything that is said. And he said, go ahead and make a video on me.
In no way, shape, or form did I ever say, go ahead and make a video about me. Now, I want to give you the benefit of the doubt on this, but then you did connect it to me wanting attention, which is part of your greater portrait that you're trying to paint of who I am.
Maybe he wants the attention? I guess good or bad, it's publicity, right?
What are you talking about? It's attention. You don't love being called an open score sharing, Hitler worshipping, screenshot loving, outside the house stalking doxer? That's everybody's dream, man. I'll tell you the reasons why I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. Because originally all this was focused on the group. You posted on your stories all about the group. You mentioned 31 members in a certain group. You voted on whether or not to release the screenshots. We're fighting with people in the chats from the group. In no way, shape, or form was it focused on me, except for those little things you slipped in the chat that I shared earlier, which is when I said, happy to have a FaceTime. So if I said in the chat, go ahead or something like that, no idea it was about me. And I meant go ahead and release the screenshots or whatever it is that you wanted to do. I don't know if I said that or not. You said in the context of our FaceTime conversation, I said, go ahead and make the video about me. And words matter. Details matter. And you have shifted them throughout this entire video so that every single thing with its little shift points towards the character that you are painting. And I do remember that at the beginning of our FaceTime conversation, I did say, this is separate from any content being made. If you're doing an update, whatever, something to the lines of that, I wanted you to know that I did think it was important to have a face-to-face conversation because clearly you were upset that you saw things that I had said. I know you don't like people saying that you were upset or mad. You were displeased with me. Oh yeah, you had said also in your stories, there were multiple ones, but you'd said, or in a chat, that this would be better as an update rather than a story because it would get more views. So the expectation of a potential update with screenshots from this group was what was going on. And it's really interesting that you talk about being one person here and another person there, and that I admitted to being two-faced when I apologized, which we'll talk about in a second. You laughed and were friendly the whole time. You showed me your be friendly trash can. You played things down. You definitely didn't talk about a completely shattered trust or use words like enemy like you did in your video. I don't remember the exact words, but something like, I feel like trust has been a little bit broken between us, or partially broken. It was a neutered version.
They're going to catch wind of what's happening. And then they're not going to trust you. And after the most recent chat of him wanting to take me down, the trust was just completely broken for me.
And you said you could tell the group to rest easy, not to worry, that you're not going to make a video. I did not have any idea you were going to make a video about me. But to try to be as fair as possible, I do remember later on thinking, wait a second, what did that mean when she said, well, you'll see because it's all going to be out there? Wasn't really clear communication, but it did seem like an ominous indication that you were going to make a video. But I didn't catch it because you didn't. All you told me was that everybody could rest easy because, well, you said the group. I was part of the group. I guess everybody can rest easy but you. You say I admitted to everything and I apologized. You cannot make a video in which you list off all of these different things and then at the very end say I apologized for everything as though we discussed everything. You didn't talk about half this to me or I would have shut it down on the spot. And the super interesting thing is, Jenny, that you were apologizing to me. Now, I sort of cut you off and said there's no need because I had recognized that I started it by being unkind behind your back. Before I cut you off, I think it had to do with basically being mean over the last few days in the chats. Jenny, I think the video was a little bit worse than the little comments in the chats. You didn't really have to apologize for that. But I guess rather than being two different people like you call me, you could easily brush this off as sort of being undercover for your hit piece, right? So it's okay if you're undercover. That's all this was. It doesn't matter because I said mean things about you and you were mad and upset. Freak. Sorry, I know you don't like that.
I think there's this misconception about me that I somehow get angry and mad and react to people. That is not at all.
Hashtag unbothered. You were displeased. I don't think displeased is an emotion, right? You don't get mad or upset. That's not what this is, this whole video. Nothing to do with that. It's a noble crusade to expose the next Brian Friend and to protect everybody in the CrossFit space. But that's okay to do these things undercover. That's not two-faced. And now it's okay to do anything. As long as it's a response to being wronged, no rules.
This is Susan from Planned Parenthood. I have her test results. If you could have her give me a call as soon as she can. It's urgent. Thank you.
I also appreciate you calling me the devil and bringing up a picture of an axe murderer here.
I was pointing out to a couple of my Christian friends yesterday that don't forget the devil hides amongst Christians.
That's a nice touch. And here's your big one, the open score.
Heard from a very credible source that during the Open this year, Grant offered athletes open scores of other big name CrossFit athletes so that other athletes could go and redo the workouts to beat their scores.
Now, when people told me about this, I said, she didn't share any evidence, did she? I said, no. The reason I know you didn't share any evidence is because you brought this up on the phone, and I probably gave you a face like this when you said sharing open scores, and I said, okay, and you said, well, sharing open scores of games athletes with games athletes. I had no idea what you're talking about. Now, I did go back and think, And I didn't realize until the next day what it could be, and I know your source of information for that. And you're right, it is a legitimate source of information. Thanks, buddy. The only problem with what you heard is that you heard wrong, because it was a message. I don't know if you knew that or not. I have that message. And in that message, I say, I know so-and-so's open score. Ha ha, I'm an idiot. Why am I texting this right now? And then immediately after, I say, I like so-and-so. So I'm not going to share it because it was a ridiculous text. But nonetheless, no open score was offered whatsoever, and I didn't give an open score. If you'd like that confirmed by a trustworthy, neutral third party, I think we both know one. I'd be happy to do that.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
And a minor point as well, but one that makes a difference. There is a difference between someone sharing a score with you in confidence and then you telling somebody else and breaking that confidence and doing what we do in our investigations and the web of information that's out there. Because this score was not shared to me by anyone. That's not how I found it out. The equivalent would be hearing about somebody's score and saying to a friend, hey, I heard so-and-so had this time on it, so that'll give you a good target to beat. If someone did share a score, the context would matter, and in many cases, it would not be some unpardonable sin. It happens all the time the way that I just described. Regardless of that point, I flat out did not offer a score or share a score, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Now, this will be the confession portion of the video.
If I'm gonna tell it, then I gotta tell it all.
Now, you mentioned Bible study podcasts, and this one actually is hard because faith has been the most important thing to me for a long time. And I will flat out say that it is not. My Christian faith, my faith in Christ has not been the most important thing to me. If you're religious, maybe even if you're not religious, you would understand the term of idolatry. It means that something takes a higher place than God does. And I am guilty of that. And I don't even like saying that out loud because I don't think a year ago I would have to say that. I'm not going to get into this a ton in this specific video, only because the intention of this video is to correct the lies. I don't think that it's incompatible to correct everything that is untrue and also at the same time to say what I'm guilty of and what I need to correct, because that has hit me hard. Privately, I have told friends that are more mature than me, that I trust, that I have slipped into patterns of behavior that I recognize from when I was a drug addict. I was addicted to opiates for like 10 years. And the thing is that that's got nothing to do with me now, but those tendencies are still there. And when you see them, you're fully responsible for them. Meaning I have to be extra vigilant to make sure that impulsivity and all those different things are in check. And I haven't done that on the internet, period, which is why some of this is happening. Yeah, when you think of Christian and Jesus, you don't exactly think about being unkind behind people's back. So for everybody who's seen that and knows that I'm a Christian, I'm sorry. The word repentance means to change your mind. It's not a get out of jail free card. A change of mind actually leads to a change in your course of action that can be measured. I don't want to be involved in a bunch of gossip. I don't want to have things that dominate my life. I don't want to be impulsive and have lack of self-control. And that'll be a personal journey that will play out in content creation. And I hope that 6 months from now, a month from now, year from now, we see something different that is more informed by the person that I want to be and have not been. And here's the rest of it.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
You mentioning names to potentially flex on you.
Personal messages of people in the space, like athletes and people at CrossFit and other media people. My initial thought is maybe he's doing this to build trust between us, or maybe he's doing this to kind of like flex, like show me that he talks to important people in the space. It was also kind of a red flag.
Didn't do that. I did those in genuine collaboration with you, like when we were trying to figure out stuff about the open leaks. I don't know. Are you doing the thing where you're drip feeding information and suggesting that you have these screenshots with these important people? Because I've mentioned that it seems like you do this, like you're threatening that you have more information. You've got 3 months of the group. You've got these important screenshots. Don't respond or be careful what you do, or Jenny has more information.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf?
Not only will I respond, I'll admit to everything. You mean the screenshot from Dave Castro that I shared with you when we were collaborating about the open leaks and stuff, like those kind of important people.
I know everything he's about to say against me.
About the flexing on you, no, I didn't do that. But yes, it's true that I do like to know things, and I've liked people to know that I know things or that I know people. I guess validate me as legitimate. Now, typically you would just work hard and trust that over time that would validate you. And it's a shortcut to name drop and bring things up in order to get some sort of early validation that you're legitimate. I'm guilty of that. Yeah, at times I have been guilty about caring what people think. There's different contexts to that, and at the end of the day, it doesn't drive big decisions, but it's enough that it's certainly teeter-tottered into the realm of negative character traits. Guilty. I have shared screenshots. Guilty. I've gossiped. Guilty. I've been impulsive. Guilty. I've lacked self-control and discipline while on the internet. Guilty. Talk way too much. Way too much. Sometimes I'm funny and sometimes it's just annoying. Guilty. I was unkind. And I did that behind your back. Guilty. I've spent too much time on the internet. I've rambled and unhinged and been the type of guy that probably needs one of those internet cards like this one. The way I actually lost a bunch of weight was by putting locks on the fridge and on the cabinets and then having the key in a time release safe that didn't open until 6 a.m. the next morning. There is self-control and there is creative restrictions that you put on yourself as a form of self-control. Oh, you know what? Screw it. Hey, Bloom. Anybody from Bloom's watching? Are you looking to potentially sponsor a two-faced, cares too much about what people think, impulsive, gossiping hypocrite on his way to possibly becoming Brian Friend? I'm your man. And lastly, like I said earlier, I am guilty of religious hypocrisy in a word that we would call idolatry. And that is all in the open, and I'm okay with it. Say it all. You tell them what you did to Snickers. And I kicked the cat once, too, for knocking over my cereal bowl. Here.
Tell these people something they don't know about me.
And that's how Regina George died.